Hello, this is Wayne from Simple. Today I'm going to take you through the main areas and features of the Admation platform. So let's take a look at how it all works. First of all, this is the home page, and here you're going to have access to anything and everything that needs your attention, such as recent projects, deliverables requiring your attention, briefs, and things like that. Admation keeps all work inside projects, but depending on how you use the platform, you can initiate that work in different ways. For example, in this walkthrough, I'm going to create and submit a brief to get things moving. However, if I was a marketing or project manager, I could create the project first, and if I have a file I just need to get approved quickly, I've got a button for that as well. But let's brief in some work now. You can have as many different briefs as you need for all the types of work that you do. Just click and you can start writing. You can also come back to briefs you're still working on. Here is an example brief, but do remember any brief that you need can be created here with mandatory fields, conditional fields, sections that show and hide depending on what type of work you're briefing in, and much more. You can even add specific deliverables and specs to your brief by selecting them from a list that your admin users can manage. This helps ensure consistency in briefing, and it's going to save a lot of time for everyone working on the project later on. Admin users can set up briefs to behave differently when they're completed, depending on how your organization works. For example, many of our customers will send the brief to a project team or studio team to triage and manage. Then we'll just need to wait for the work to come to us to approve. In this case, the brief can be set up so it's submitted to another team who will receive it and turn that brief into a project. For this example today, I'm going to be using an auto project brief, which creates the project for us automatically when we finish it. So let's do that now. So here we see our project created. Now we're going to take a quick look around and see what projects are used for. Down the left here, we see all the deliverables that this project is set up to create and their status. These are placeholders that we added to the brief, ready to be filled in with files from designers or marketers or analysts and be submitted for approval. I'm just going to change over to an in-flight project so we can see a bit more information like statuses and things like that. Here you see the details of the project. Now most of this is automatically created from the brief. Things like tags, key dates, the project team, and other attributes are all managed here. This information helps with reporting, searching, filtering, and just helps with visibility on what work is happening in the organization. All information about the approval of work in the project is summarized here, with more detailed information just a couple of clicks away. The Documents section captures not only the brief we created at the start, but any other files can be added here, such as supporting files, estimates, reverse briefs. These documents can all be submitted for approval if you like, just like deliverables. The rest of the project page allows for more information to be captured if needed, such as assets where project managers can drop files that will be useful to the designers making the creative, like fonts, logos, anything. Communication about the project is captured, as well as the all-important audit trail, where every action and reaction is automatically captured, like approval decisions, versions, and more. Resourcing is an optional module on Admation that allows work to be assigned to departments or individual users. Project or department managers can add tasks right from the project, or templates can be set up to add them automatically. Now our project not only contains the deliverables we need, but we can keep track of the work being done to create those deliverables. Department managers even have their own view to manage their team's work, with views for workload, task backlog and assignment, meetings, and more. Admation will automatically calculate each user's capacity and ability to complete work by a given deadline. Individual users have their own task list where they can start work, log time against a job, and upload work for review. Speaking of review, let's start talking about submitting and reviewing work. The first step is for some work to be submitted for review. So let's add a file to our project now. Here I can add the people and groups I wish to review my work. I can also use templates which are made by admin users. These remove any doubt and ensure the right people are reviewing the right work at the right time. Group approvals and levels can be set to any or all, meaning that you can control how many people in a group or level have to approve for it to progress along the path. In this example, I just need one person from compliance to approve, as well as Amir and Bree before moving on to level 2. Approvals can be set in a hierarchy or levels to ensure approvers are only notified and come to review at the right time. These levels can all be set on the templates, along with preset approval durations to set due dates and reminders, though you can add or tweak them here. Approval checklists can be set up so users must indicate certain things have been done before they can submit to certain user groups, such as compliance checklist here. Now let's submit our file for review. So let's start talking about reviewing deliverables. When I'm needed to review some work, I'll have a link to it on my homepage, here. I can also find it in the approvals page. Most commonly, however, I'll find out first from an email notification, like this one. And here I am just one click away, and I'm reviewing. So we can already see I have a nice view of the file, plus some pretty straightforward buttons at the top here, but let's take a bit more of a look around. On the right here, I see the approval path. Here I can see everyone else that has seen or will see this file. For example, here I can see Bree has approved it with a general comment, and Amir has come to look at this page but not yet made a decision. The compliance team is already happy with it, their group set to any, and one of them is already approved, so compliance is good with it. The markup tools allow me to clearly indicate any changes or feedback I may have, as well as allowing me to attach files or reply to other users' comments. Videos can be played and annotated here, and we even support Word doc reviewing. This allows users to make and track changes, add comments, and most other Word features, all without leaving Admation. Batch actions allow me to approve or reject multiple items at once, which is great if I have one comment that applies to a dozen web banners, for example. Approval forwarding is a great feature that allows an approver to forward or initiate their own review process for a deliverable all within this window. For example, a designer may submit this file to the marketer that requested it, and that marketer can then forward it to their internal stakeholders and collate that feedback all with one button to give back to the designer with their own feedback. This is also used for peer review, product team feedback, for catalog work, and much more as well. As feedback is given, new revisions will be created and submitted for review. In these cases, I can easily see which version I'm looking at and can even compare it to previous versions, so I can be sure that my feedback and anyone else's has been taken on board. And finally, we have approval checklists for approvers too. These can be attached to certain approvers, groups, or organization-wide, but they make sure that an approver has to check off certain things before they can approve a file. Like the previous submission checklists, they are optional and completely customizable. Once deliverables are completely approved, they can be finalized. When projects and deliverables are finalized, they're sent to add storage, along with any supporting production files and even an expiry date. This is your repository of all approved files that's searchable, can be filtered, and be used to find, download, even rerun any prior work. The last view I'll show you today is the project page. This allows users to find and keep track of all their work with plenty of different views such as calendar Gantt charts, weekly deadline views, and more. These views help users as well as managers and admins see exactly what's going on by filtering, searching, and browsing the work and views that are meaningful to them. And that's it for now. Thanks for your time, and thanks for allowing me to show you this high-level view of what Admation can do for marketers, design teams, approvers, and how it can get work from idea to asset in a single solution.